no, no. No, no, no.
It is Saturday, March 26th, 2022, and it's beginning to feel a lot like summer. Yeah. We are opposite of most farmers in the country where this is our peak season. So usually that's the fall, although fall's pretty peakish for us as well, because we've got 2 of those. But our growing season here for livestock is basically from about September until May. We get very, very busy this year. Lori, you want to tell them about your day?
Well, I feel like right now it's like hours of watering because we have to hand water so much stuff that is seeded because it needs extra water.
We've got 2 different pastures we're establishing, and those are needing to get watered
3 times a day.
3 times a day. We might drop down to 2 now that they're starting to sprout a little bit. The meat chickens, broilers.
So we're moving them twice a day.
Right.
We're seeding after we move them also, so that's more watering and seeding to do. So I basically am doing chores from about 6 a.m. till 9. Then I can do a project from about 9 to 11. And then 11 to 1 I'm doing chores again when it comes to watering, moving chickens, feeding. Between 12:30 and 1 I can go in and have lunch. And then 1 to 3 o'clock it's watering and feeding again.
What's cool to see this time of year though is all the things coming back to life. Most of the trees have come out of dormancy at this point. We even have some things growing where we weren't expecting. Like we have our compost pile. We had some seeds we had saved from 2017. We were gonna plant, never got around to, and we had some other seeds, so we figured let's throw away those 5-year-old seeds, well, compost them into our old compost pile that's basically finished, and that's sprouted. I don't know what's growing in there. We know there's squash. We could definitely see tomatoes.
Tomatoes, butternut squash, and I think it was acorn squash.
If we can get a few of those tomatoes, maybe we transplant them.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, we basically put up a temporary fence on the pasture. We're seeding behind the broiler chickens so that we can have a pasture this summer for all of our laying hens and our turkeys. So we want to make sure we have alfalfa going in behind them. So we're seeding that behind the tractor, and as such we're trying to keep the chickens away from that side so that they don't mess with the area behind the chickens as it grows in. We've got still a lot we need to get done today, right? So we got prepping for more animals coming onto the farm. We are basically done planting, but we have some transplanting we want to do. But before we get to that, there's something we need to show you up at the front of the house. This is our champagne loquat. This is the smallest loquat tree that we have, but it's completely loaded with fruit. This was the first one to set fruit. You can see it's also the first one that's ripening fruit here at the front of the property. It's only been in the ground for about 1.5 years, and Typically, we wouldn't allow this much fruit. In fact, I've been thinning it. We've thinned about 60 to 70% of the fruit off of this tree. I think typically this tree probably would give us ripe fruit at the end of March. Whether or not we'll get it this week, I don't know. But I want you guys to see some of this fruit that's ripening up. My concern with this loquat is this is the primary growing season for loquats. They have a tendency to stall or stunt just a bit during the summertime, so once we get into June, probably come through and thin this another 50% or so. I don't think Lori's gonna let me thin too much more because I know how much she really wants to eat these fruit that are really close to ripening, sweetheart. That was our champagne loquat. What's beautiful about the loquat varieties that we chose is we have some successive ripening, which basically means we have those that are ripening up now, and then we have a couple other varieties that have a lot of fruit in varying sizes and varying states of ripeness. We have our Macbeth loquat that's near our pasture area. That one I think is going to be the next one to have ripe fruit on it for us. And then we have our Gold Nugget loquat, which is behind me now. And this one has very small fruit on it that's set very late, and it's nowhere near starting to ripen. What's wonderful about this Gold Nugget is also just the sheer amount of growth it's putting on. So not only does it have fruit on here that it's ripening, because of the size of the tree, it's also growing really well. So while I am going through and thinning this, I'm not gonna be quite as aggressive as I have with the champagne loquat because the tree's doing so good. It's getting hot. It's probably 90 today, and it's still a little overcast, but Shangri-La mulberries behind us, right? They're doing really, really good, and they're gonna be ripe here in another week or two. That's really cool. And we got a couple things planted. Actually, you had planted one of them, right?
We got our Triple Crown blackberry in.
Not much to that, right?
No, it's tiny.
Yeah, but the Primark blackberry, which is going crazy. I mean, it is completely loaded with flowers. We have amazing fruit set in there. The flowers are just insane. And it's basically taken over that bed completely, doing better than the one on the old farm, really. And I'm thinking it's that soil that we created in that bed.
Yeah.
And they were actually able to get another pup out of that bed. That was actually the Primark blackberry. And I think we have, what, 4 or 5 of those we're starting now?
I dug up a few of those this week before I planted the new one that came in.
Yeah, so we've got those we can kind of transplant everywhere. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so yeah, we put the 2 in the sorghum patch.
Yeah, and they're looking really, really good. We're able to finally get up to the front of the house and get the guavas uncaged, right? And had the white guava that still a little concerned that we might get some rabbit damage on it, but we got our Ivy Organics 3-in-1 plant guard going on it.
Yeah.
Yep. So then we also had the new pear tree, right? So we got a Comus pear, bare root. This will be a really good test to see if a super late shipment of a bare root tree actually makes it. So I'm not sure. The cherry tree is looking pretty sad right now. So I'm hopeful that this pear tree won't be too bad. Got that one from Rain Tree Nursery, and they don't start shipping out their spring bare root trees until March. Which, Rain Tree Nursery, if you're listening to this, that's a mistake for us here in Arizona. Way too late for a bare root tree.
Today.
Yeah, my goodness. We are now ready, just about, for Rosie to be here. And she's here, actually, she's here 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yes.
Right? So
Yeah.
she'll be here soon. I know you're excited about that.
Yeah.
And we don't have more than just Rosie.
We got a second one,
Violet.
Violet.
Yeah, so she'll be a few weeks later.
Yeah.
'Cause she was just born.
We need to put some toys in there for her. So if you have any cheap ideas for toys for a baby goat, let us know.
Yeah, cheap like free would be good.
Like what we can make with.
Yeah, because that
What
little
we
playhouse
have.
was not free. So I just want to thank you guys for joining us today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. You caught us today if it's your first time on our weekly vlog. This is where we give everybody an update on what's going on around the farm, but would love to have you as a subscriber. Questions or comments, you know those go in the comment section down below, and our Amazon shop. I'll leave a link down in the description, a free painless way to help support the channel. If you start with the link down below, it does not matter what you buy, you help to support us here. So just want to thank you for joining us today and remind you, if we can farm on the edge of nowhere,
So can you
what am I getting in trouble for facing up?
face this up?
I don't want to get busted, I know better. Good thing I'm little. Want to swap?
Sure.
Usually you're pretty tough.
I know, but it's not going in there.
That's what she said. Here I'm the guy, I'm pretty good at getting it in.
Having trouble?
I'm having some issues. It's these massive guns. These massive BB guns that I'm sporting. That's because you're a super white girl.
I know, I like have to close them because it hurts.
Well, there's levels of white girls. There's like level 1 white girl, and then there's you. That's like a level below that even.
No, that's not true.
I'm pretty sure.
No,
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
there's-
look at,
there's-
you're out in the sun every day. See what I'm saying?
I know, but even like my whitest white is not as white as some people.
Okay. Okay, that's fair.